Hello and welcome again to Reopening Hamilton County Schools, a video program where we share information with you on reopening our schools for parents, students, and also the community. And today we're going to be talking about school nutrition, the lunchroom, and how our phases are going to impact how students will be interacting in the lunchroom, how they'll be eating lunch. A lot of questions about that as we've gone through this reopening process. And with us today, we have Kristen Naus, who is the Director of School Nutrition for Hamilton County Schools, takes care of all the breakfast and lunches, and also right now doing a great job with the summer program. We want to talk a little bit about the summer program before we get into school starting, how that's going, number of meals you guys are serving, and how that's working for us this summer.
Sure. So this summer we've been offering parent pickup every Tuesday and Friday, and we provide enough meals that you're covered for the days that aren't available for pickup. And we've been serving a lot of parents. We're still serving about 90% of the volume that we were doing during the school year. So there's still quite a need out there. And we're able to do that for the summer program at no cost to families. And that will run through August 7th, that last Friday before school starts.
All right, I know that's been great for a lot of families this summer, so great job by you and your staff putting that together and making that work, especially during the trying times of the pandemic and all the extra precautions that you have to take that goes along with that. So thank you for making that available to our students and families over the summer. So let's talk now about how reopening is going to work. How the school nutrition program will be interacting as we look through the different phases that the district will be in. All of our parents can find this on our website, and you can look and see where we are on any given day. Come on the website, and right at the top of the homepage, it will say what phase we're in, and you can click on that and see this interactive graphic that will be changed every day to let you know number of cases in the area and exactly where we are. But looking at this from the lens of school nutrition, if we're in phase 4, now that's a pretty easy one. All schools are open, very few cases in the community. Wish we were there now, but that's not the case. So in phase 4, everything would be just as it would be normally in the school lunchroom, correct?
Correct.
Okay, then as we move into other phases, right now we're in phase 3, which schools are open, but taking extra precautions, as you see there. On this particular day, as we're recording this is what we have, but you can look on the website and see what it looks like today. But right now, as we're recording this, we're in the very edge of transitioning maybe from phase 3 to phase 2. So let's talk about phase 3. Schools are open. Some campuses may be working on a hybrid. Some are going to be remote learning. So while we're in phase 3, how does that impact the school lunchroom?
So we'll be taking some extra sanitation steps. So we normally keep our kitchens really clean, but we're going to take that extra step of doing things like sanitizing the serving line completely in between each group of students, as well as things like wearing gloves at all times, not just when they're handling food. So that's one thing that we're really going to be focused on. Another thing is making sure that students don't touch anything that another student has touched in that serving line. So if they're used to serving themselves with tongs or scoops, we won't have that available. We'll pre-plate things for them. And we will also keep things like condiments with the cashier so she can divvy them out rather than students all sticking their hands into the same bowl, getting packets of ketchup. And then we're also making sure that students are going to get through that line really quickly. So we'll pre-plate things so that they can just grab and go, because we know that the longer a student stands in line, the more likely they are to get closer together, to horseplay. So the goal is going to be to get them through really quickly. So that really phases up or sums up phase 3 for the cafeteria line. When it comes to dining, that's ultimately going to depend on the school's configuration. So the principal's making that decision. Some schools, it's much harder to find a classroom for every student to eat in, like in a high school, whereas in elementary, that may be easier. So that may vary from school to school.
Okay, so as far as social distancing, then we're going to be limiting the number of people in the actual lunchroom area so that we can social distance. And that will mean at some schools, students may be eating in the classroom instead of the lunchroom once they get their meal.
Right.
Does phase two change anything for you beyond phase three, or is it pretty much the same social distancing, taking extra precautions as you look at how you serve the meals in the service line?
It's going to look pretty similar in phases 2 and 3. We may just take some extra precautions in phase 2 where we may not have as many options for the students just so that they can get through the line even quicker. But other than that, the serving line will look just about the same. We do know that students aren't going to be in school every day during phase 2, so we have the ability to send home meals with the students to cover them for the days that they'll be home.
Okay, yeah, so that's a good point because there will be um, probably about 3 days out of the week that the student will be still working with school work and doing their lessons and connecting with their teachers, but they will be learning remotely even if they selected option one, and which would be in-person learning at school. So how would we get meals or make those available? Would it be much like the summer program where they come by and it's a pickup line outside the school, or how will that work?
We're hoping, as long as we have enough notice, if it's a decision that's made at 4 o'clock in the evening for the next day, we may have to do some sort of pickup option. But if we know that we're moving into a phase 2, or if we're already in phase 2, we can have the meals pre-bagged and ready to go. And at the end of the day, the student can come through and just pick up the meals. We can ring them in and they can just take them home with them so that they don't have transportation issues.
Okay, so that's it's possible that you will have those on, if we're set that it's a 2 days in school, 3 days out for the week, that you'll have the meals prepared for them on the last day that they're at school to cover the days that they will be out.
Right.
Excellent. Okay. And one other thing I know you wanted to talk about was HCS at home, where students are still connected to their school. They're enrolled in their school. They're still connected with their teachers, but they're doing all of their learning remotely at home. How do you work with those families to make sure that even though they're at home, that they still have the possibility of getting school nutrition meals at home or for
So
their home?
So we'll continue to do parent pickup for students that are in the HCS at home option. So families will come once a week and pick up 5 breakfast, 5 lunch, and be able to have those for their students while they're learning at home.
As we look at phase one, and hopefully we do not get there. That's cases really high in the community, and the schools are all closed. Um, would that work basically like the HCS at home as far as delivering meals to then all of our students because everyone would be at home?
Right. We would continue to do what we did in the spring, where we have parent pickup and then possibly some targeted delivery to our high need areas or to families who may need it.
All right, a lot to coordinate and get ready and between now and when school starts, but you've been working on these kind of things all summer. So how does that help you prepare for the fall?
Yes, I mean, it's a lot to think through. There's so many details that come up even now, but we feel like we're prepared no matter what phase that we'll be in. We know what course of action we'll be taking.
All right, thank you, Kristen Naus, the person in charge of everything school nutrition for Hamilton County Schools, which is a huge job with the number of schools and children that we have. But you guys do a great job, all of your staff at all the schools, working with our children and making sure they have good, nutritious meals. Because if they're not well fed and they're not feeling good from that aspect, it makes it difficult to learn.
Yeah.
So thank you for all that you guys do to help our kids learn each day in Hamilton County Schools.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for Reopening Hamilton County Schools, where we've shared more information with you about how schools will reopen on August the 12th. In the meantime, make sure you check our website every day to understand where we are on our phase tracker on how schools will open. You'll find that at the top of our homepage. Look for the phase that we're in currently. Click on that right at the top of the homepage, and you'll see the data tracker that allows you to look at exactly where we are with cases in the community and what phase that puts us in as a school district. We hope you join us again for Reopening Hamilton County Schools.